Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank you and Co-Chair Grassley for convening us. I want to thank the witnesses not only for being here today, but for your work. And I just want to note that as we talked about the stunning statistic just being reported of 100,000 overdose deaths in the United States in a year of the pandemic, how critical your work is. I also know that while we are talking today about illicit international drug trafficking, it is really important that we also recognize that all of this illicit trafficking is influenced by demand here at home. And we certainly know that the pharma industry has influenced that demand, sometimes with reckless, other times with predatory behavior, and sometimes enabled by a fairly lax FDA oversight and potential conflicts of interest there. So I just don't want to take our eye off that ball either. To Ambassador Robinson, I just wanted to start following up on a line of questioning that Co-Chair Grassley was asking. We continue to see illicit fentanyl trade in the U.S. that originated in China. As Senator Grassley mentioned, Chinese manufacturers produce fentanyl precursor chemicals and then sell and ship them to drug trafficking organizations in Mexico. The cartels then produce fentanyl from these precursor chemicals and smuggle it across the southern border. I just want to drill down a bit, Ambassador. Criminals profit at every stage of this process. How can we use existing money laundering rules to combat the financing of illicit fentanyl trade?
We are focused very closely on making sure that we are following the money. Current rules allow us to work more closely with the Department of Justice and DEA to make sure that any money that is trying to reach our shores is investigated. We are working with our partners to make sure, particularly Mexico, to make sure that any resources that they have the tools to investigate, working with their prosecutors, right, to investigate the illicit gains that are coming from these from this drug trade. So that's how INL would focus on this effort.
Thank you. Deputy Assistant Attorney General Swartz, I share the encouragement that you expressed about recent operations spearheaded by the Joint Criminal Opioid and Darknet Enforcement, or J-Code, such as Operations Dark Hunter and Disruptor, that have taken down illegal drug marketplaces on the dark web and led to hundreds of arrests worldwide. I'm working on legislation to permanently authorize J-Code and bolster the resources it receives. Can you speak to how J-Code, in conjunction with federal, state, local, and international law enforcement partners, is able to pursue and shut down dark web illegal drug marketplaces, both in the U.S. and around the world?
Well, thank you, Senator. J-Code, I think, represents the future of much of what we're going to see in terms of dealing with illicit finance, particularly as we move towards the darknet and cryptocurrencies. And by bringing together experts both on the drug side, the money laundering side, and our cyber experts, it is the future of how we're going to interact on this. We find that J-Code also works well and helps coordinate our various law enforcement agencies at the federal level and to help advance state actions as well. And we're also doing this through other means. Thanks to support from INL, we've created a worldwide network of cyber prosecutors through OPDAT. We're stationed abroad, working to build the capacity of our foreign counterparts to deal with cryptocurrency and other money laundering techniques. And we've also built out, with our prosecutors on the ground, working on particular cases with Mexico, a money laundering group that's already met twice in the short time it's been in existence in this fall. And we expect, again, this will not simply be training. This will be case-based, directed activity.
Well, thank you. I look forward to working to make sure that J-Code has the resources it needs to continue this vital work. I wanted to touch on one more thing with you, and we're running out of time, so I may do it for the record, but I am sure that Chairman Whitehouse will talk more about the amendment to the National Defense Bill that he and I have been working on, and I think it's going to get introduced to target drug cartels' money laundering. One key piece of the bill is providing resources, assistance, and training to other countries. Can you and Ambassador Robinson speak to how this support will help target drug trafficking organizations where they're most vulnerable?
Thank you. We feel at the Department of Justice that there is more we can do in this regard. We can place prosecutors, if we have the funding to do it, to serve as mentors, again, focused on cases, on building out cases involving illicit finance that affect our country. So we look forward to any opportunity to discuss how that can best be done. But from our perspective, and this goes to Senator Grassley's point, there's no better expenditure of monies for the American taxpayer and to protect the American taxpayer than placing our prosecutors and investigators on the ground to build the capacity of our counterparts to obtain results and to defeat these criminal organizations before they reach our borders.
Well, I thank you. And Ambassador, I'll follow up with you perhaps for the record since I'm a bit over time here. I appreciate all of you very much.